But another thing that's causing controversy is what's happening to the Opera House. There are calls by disability advocates to make it more accessible. So the Opera House is considering putting hand railings up the middle of the Opera House steps. So we could be facing the prospect of that iconic view, the steps leading up, and then hand railings. To me, Claire, I get the whole argument. You want it to be accessible, but look, we don't bulldoze Mount Everest to make that accessible either. We don't put wheelchair ramps
that's a great idea.
on historic icons. We should not be putting hand railings up the middle of those stairs.
No, we are not going to lose the view. Look, my instinct is actually, I agree, to say no, don't touch it. But the modification of the Opera House has been a long-term strategy. I'm actually very good friends with the architect who's managing that.
So conflict of interest has been declared.
Look, they have done, you can see the work because it's been going on for years, right? They have installed these beautiful lifts inside that are all made out of, you know, the granite and the glass and the brass that was originally in the design. And these are really skilled architects designing it.
Why can't they just have a lift that anyone who has walking? Like my best mate is a quadriplegic who's ranting and raving to me for about an hour on the phone today about something completely different. I just wanted to bring that up. But like, you know, I absolutely, why not have a lift so they can get there, they can see the view, they can get to the top, but just without kind of making it look like just another 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think these architects really respect, you know, the original vision of the Danish architect, and I think they're giving them a chance to design something beautiful in glass that goes into. Well, give it.
You're running cover for big architecture.
But back in the 70s, we didn't have this obsession with making sure everything was inclusive. There are ways you can make the Opera House inclusive and accessible that don't involve massive hand railings going up the centre. But look, another thing that's going on is driving. Around this time of year, we're all on the roads all the time. I was down in Mollymook, long drive, and what you do notice is I think the behaviour of drivers is going down the drain. And we now have some data to back this up. The ABC did an investigation. They drove 550 kilometres through regional roads and tested how many people waved back to them. On freeways, just 25 out of 362 drivers waved back. On back roads, 8 out of 12. Claire, are we just becoming a mean, disrespectful, mannerless culture?
Yeah, it's a disgrace. And last night we talked about the marker of a civil society is picking up rubbish after yourself. Well, the second marker is giving the little courtesy wave. And if you're talking about, you know, questions to get Australian citizenship, what do you do if someone lets you into traffic?
Give the wave.
Give the wave,
Give the wave. And I hold it there. I like to hold it there till it becomes uncomfortable. Or what I also like to do, which my wife hates, is I wind down the window and then do the little wave.
No.
And sometimes if you get a cool driver, they'll give you a little shockers. But wind down the window. But because my car is so old and useless, winding down the window takes about 6 minutes. And so I'm just like doing the slowest kind of turn you possibly can. Well, it goes down, 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 down. The producer's telling me to rap, but it's still going down, 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 down. Then you go. And by which time the driver's in the next state.
They're gone.
Anyway.
And they're not waving back, which is
They're not
really
waving
sad.
back.